The superstar shakeup continues on SmackDown Live as we witness even more men and women coming from the Raw roster over to the blue brand. But who exactly ends up on SmackDown? And also a triple threat match for a #1 contendership for the United States Championship. Ah, darn it, I spoiled it. Anyway, we're going to cover all this and more in this week's edition of the SmackDown Rebound. Hello everybody, my name is Conor, aka OKayFabe, your official SmackDown correspondent for One Wrestling and OneWrestling.com's videos YouTube channel. And welcome back, guys, to another fantastic edition of the SmackDown Rebound. Couple things before we kick things off. I want to apologize that this came out a little late. I actually went to SmackDown Live this past Tuesday night, so unfortunately I fell a little ill in the evening and I was not able to upload this episode as fast as I usually do, so I apologize for the lateness of this report, but I hope you guys enjoyed SmackDown. We're going to cover everything and, of course, what happened as we are coming into the second part of the Superstar Shakeup on SmackDown. That's a lot of S's. I'm surprised I didn't get tongue-tied just then. But anyway, guys, before we get into the whole ordeal, before we get to the routine, you guys know it by now, we always like to hear what you guys have to say. So let us know your thoughts about SmackDown Live this week down in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the Superstar Shakeup down in the comment section. Make sure you check out myself and the entire OneWrestling.com family over on various social media, including myself at OKayFabe, at Big Ratio, at the Big Slam Nation, of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Also, make sure you thumbs up this video, please like these videos, and of course, subscribe for more amazing content for us right here at OneWrestling.com. Alright, Superstar Shakeup. Needless to say, the Superstar Shakeup was in full effect as the show opens with Kevin Owens coming out dressed in a full suit. Yes, SmackDown has acquired the WWE United States Champion Kevin Owens, and considering that Dean Ambrose, the Intercontinental Champion, is now over on Monday Night Raw, it seems to make a whole lot of sense in this regards. He challenged anyone in the back and basically said how SmackDown is better now because of him being there, and said that there's not anybody out there in the back who could take him out. And interestingly enough, Baron Corbin answers the call. He says he's still owed a title shot. He's, after what happened with Dean Ambrose in the Intercontinental Championship, and he thinks he's owed a championship match. He goes, and since you're the only one out here, and starts to actually, insinuate that Baron Corbin deserves a shot at the United States Championship. However, then another person from Monday Night Raw jumped ship, Sami Zayn, and the crowd went berserk. He mentions that he, of course, also was moved to SmackDown. And then AJ Styles comes out and announces that he's now loyal and still, of course, part of the blue brand, that he's staying on SmackDown, the place that AJ Styles built. As the four men continue to bicker, Daniel Bryan comes out and mentions that Kevin Owens is still set and scheduled to defend the United States Championship at Payback at the end of the month against Chris Jericho. He did mention, though, interestingly enough, that the winner of that match, whoever walks out of that match as U.S. Champion, will be coming to SmackDown. So there's still a possibility that if Jericho wins back the U.S. Championship, that he might come to SmackDown with the United States Championship. But he said he is able to make a #1 contendership for afterwards. So tonight's main event will be a triple threat between AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin, the winner becoming the new #1 contender for the United States Championship. Holy shnikes! That's a hell of a main event right there. Anyway, speaking of champions, we see Randy Orton going in a one-on-one action against Eric Rowan. And this matchup was more or less short, sweet, and to the point. Of course, is a non-title matchup between the two. As Orton looks like he's going to plant an RKO on Eric Rowan, Bray Wyatt does this creepy and interrupts, distracting Orton a little bit and mentioning that he's still going to have his championship match at Payback in the House of Horrors match. Still don't know what that is. Still have no idea what that's about. Eric Rowan afterwards then slams Randy Orton with the ring steps outside the ring to, of course, cause a disqualification. Rowan hit Orton with a full Nelson slam afterwards and posing afterwards. So it's interesting that even though Bray Wyatt has been officially drafted to Raw, the mind games continue at least into Payback at the end of this month. The SmackDown Tag Team titles are up for grabs as the Usos go against American Alpha. Just a Just wow. Just a wow match in this one. This was fantastic. I feel like anytime these two teams get together, it's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, great tag team action, great psychology. I still say it wasn't as good as their match that they had right before WrestleMania, but this one is a damn close one if I ever do say so myself. Usos win with, of course, the super kick and a splash into Chad Gable. I thought, honestly, there was a couple of times where American Alpha was going to win. I was even impressed there was a spot where the Usos did a dual suicide dive, and the American Alpha grabbed both of them and then did a belly-to-belly suplex outside the ring. It was just really good stuff. After the match, a new tag team arrived on SmackDown from Monday Night Raw. The Shining Stars attacking American Alpha afterwards, signaling, of course, the fact that they are now on SmackDown. I'm going to break down all my thoughts about who's coming over to SmackDown and what my thoughts are on overall towards the end of this video, so just keep that in mind. Mojo Rowley against Jinder Mahal. Yes, Jinder also jumping ship from Monday Night Raw. Mahal announced his arrival to SmackDown and challenged Rowley on Twitter, apparently, before SmackDown went on the air. Rob Gronkowski, who got a massive ovation when he arrived at the arena, of course, is sitting ringside at this match. Jinder Mahal threatened to get on his face once again, but Mojo was able to handle business, taking out Mahal and let Gronk throw a beer in his face as payback for WrestleMania 33. Raleigh then hit his running punch and got the pinfall victory, and then literally jumped into the crowd. And Mojo, the whole expression to, he doesn't get hype, he stays hype. There's no denying that whatsoever. Anyway, Shane McMahon decides to come out next and address the state of the women's division. He announces the 4 women who are currently on SmackDown Live out into the ring. This is, of course, SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi, Natalya, Carmella, and Becky Lynch. He announces that there are 2 new members of the division. And then first announces a second-generation wrestler, a strong powerhouse, and definitely someone who's worth her weight. And of course, everyone thinks it's Charlotte, but actually ends up being Tamina. Yes, the daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka, cousin to the Usos, cousin to Nia Jax. Tamina now part of the SmackDown Women's Division, which I'm freaking pumped for. But of course, Shane teases us even further and says, "Oh, you thought I was mentioning somebody else? Well, you're right. Charlotte Flair, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Charlotte. Also now jumping ship from Raw to SmackDown as well. Ty Dillinger taking on Aiden English in singles action. English was once again doing his original NXT gimmick of being the singer, which I thought was absolutely entertaining as all hell. I thought that was really a fun time to see. Ty got a massive pop as well, too, with a lot of 10 chants all around. Ty Dillinger, of course, winning by pinfall after hitting the tiebreaker. I'm very curious to see where things go with Aiden English's singles run. I've heard that there's a possibility we might see him in a massive push as well, too. So let's see how things go on that one. Dolph Ziggler came to the ring next to cut a promo, complaining about how fans were getting these shiny new toys part of the Superstar shakeup, but that this is still the brand that he built. He said when the shine wears off, he'll still be there, doing what he does better than anyone else, but he was interrupted again by Shinsuke Nakamura. Ziggler says that he doesn't even know who Nakamura is. Nakamura introduces himself. Ziggler tries to super kick him, but Nakamura caught his leg and dumped him, then challenged him to bring it on, but of course Ziggler powders out and leaves. We also find out a couple of other people jumped ship from Raw to SmackDown, including Rusev and Lana, Sin Cara, and surprisingly on this one, The New Day also making their way over to SmackDown from Raw as well, too. In the main event, though, we had a hell of a match. We had a triple threat again for the #1 contendership for the United States Championship. We had AJ Styles against Sami Zayn against Baron Corbin. To be honest with you, this matchup was a little on the slow side at first, but when business picked up, it picked up well. It was a very slow building matchup, and I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot. I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot of action in this one, but boy, was I wrong. And I was kind of disappointed at first, to be honest with you. But I was very glad with the end results. It was just absolute crazy. There was even a spot where Sami Zayn was on top of Baron Corbin's shoulders, and AJ Styles was going to go for the phenomenal forearm, but he ended up ducking and missing, and doing a quick roll up in order to get the pinfall victory. It was just phenomenal. AJ Styles, of course, getting the win here after hitting the phenomenal forearm on Sami Zayn. It was just great stuff. I can't even, it was just, wow. So AJ Styles now the new #1 contender for Kevin Owens' United States Championship. Now, Let's break things down as far as who is going from, or who went from Raw to SmackDown this past Tuesday night. Of course, we've got here U.S. Champion Kevin Owens, Charlotte Flair, The New Day, Rusev, Lana, Sami Zayn, the Shining Stars, Sin Cara, Jinder Mahal, and Tamina. Of course, we lost a couple people from SmackDown over to Raw. We lost The Miz, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, Heath Slater, Rhino, and Kurt Hawkins. Now, real quick, just to kind of break things down here, I'm going to go off on a limb and assume that Kevin Owens, and hope and pray that Kevin Owens retains the United States Championship so he can stay over on SmackDown. So I want to keep that in mind when I'm analyzing these guys. I think, first of all, the women. We have Tamina, Charlotte Flair, and Lana, who was actually advertised in her own video package at this show, which I thought was very interesting. Maybe they're having the possibility, I know Rusev is out with shoulder surgery at the moment, maybe they're trying to see if Lana can hold her own in the women's division, which I think would be very interesting to see. She has trained in NXT in the past, so I wouldn't be too surprised with that. I think, honestly, SmackDown's women's division has had a better... They've presented their women better than they have Raw. Raw needed the shakeup, and I think Charlotte especially needed to come to SmackDown. We've seen Charlotte pretty much face every single person over on Raw, so I think if it wasn't Sasha Banks, it needed to be Charlotte. It needed to be one of those two major powerhouses from Raw to come to the women's division. I'm super excited Tamina's on SmackDown. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a big fan of Tamina. So, now you have 3 women in the women's division on SmackDown that are all second-generation wrestlers. Natalya, Charlotte, and Tamina. It's going to be good stuff over on SmackDown. I can't wait to see what they do there. Tag teams. We've got New Day and the Shining Stars coming at the same time. I think New Day is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be entertaining, as they always are. But I think the Shining Stars are really going to get an opportunity to, no pun intended, shine here on SmackDown. They haven't been really properly been utilized in the tag team division on Raw. And they're fantastic athletes. If you guys watch some of their earlier stuff before they became the Shining Stars, before Los Matadors, when they were just Epico and Primo, I think if you change up their characters a little bit, change up the presentation, they can really bring some exciting matches. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. American Alpha versus Shining Stars, if they just let the chains off on them, that could be some really entertaining stuff. I mean, really entertaining stuff. Of course, Rusev coming over, I think, is a huge plus. Rusev kind of powdering out after losing the U.S. title, so another main contender for that United States Championship. That's a win-win. Sin Cara surprised me a little bit. I thought they would keep Sin Cara on Raw just to help with not only maybe with Kalisto now being part of the Lucha Dragons, they could reform that tag team on Raw, or even add to the Cruiserweight division. So I'm a little surprised that Sin Cara came over back to SmackDown, but hey, I'm certainly not going to complain whatsoever. Of course, the big one is, Jinder Mahal. Let's go back over real quick to Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, I think, much like Rusev and a couple of other guys like the Shining Stars, really haven't been given that opportunity, and I think that there's still a lot you can utilize with Jinder, so I think maybe, hey, SmackDown's the land of opportunity. You never know. Finally, let's take a look at, of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think their records and accolades speak for themselves. I think Sami Zayn needed to come to SmackDown originally when they did the draft, but of course that was not meant to be. Sami's been featured pretty okay on Raw, but I think here he's going to be a megastar of the blue brand, and I can't wait to see what he pulls off. Same thing goes with Kevin Owens. I think with Kevin Owens' controversial Universal Championship reign, I think that Kevin could be a top star. I mean, now you've got a lot of really big stars. You've got Randy Orton, you got AJ Styles, and you got Shinsuke Nakamura, and then you integrate these other guys from Raw. You've got a lot of great opportunities for some fresh matchups here on SmackDown, and with the way SmackDown's been able to turn things around since the draft has really originally started in July, I think it's absolutely all uphill from here, and I can't wait to see what the hell goes down. So, what do you guys think, though? I'm going to throw things over to you guys. What do you guys think of this week's SmackDown Live? What did you think of the Superstar Shakeup? Do you think SmackDown got the better deal, or do you think we turned up a little Raw? Let me know your thoughts again, guys, down in that comment section. Hit us up on the various social media. Again, hit us up on all the Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. All the links are down in the description box below for including Big Ratio, myself, with the Big Slam Nation, of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Make sure you follow us also at One Wrestling and OneWrestling.com. Hit the thumbs up button if you guys like these videos. Of course, subscribe for more amazing content right here at One Wrestling Video. Thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate the love and support. And to quote the legendary Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.